My name's Kara, and today I'll be sharing some very personal information with you regarding my stories to suicide attempts, to my residential facility treatment placing, and to my hospitalizations. I'll also be explaining why I went through everything and what my main triggers were that activated my severe deterioration. So, if this is a trigger for you and if you are suicidal, please do not watch this. And also, please don't give up hope because everything will turn out if you keep on fighting. So let's take it to my story. Well, before my story. So about me, I'm 17. I will be 17 in May. So technically I'm 17. And I lost my grandma last year to breast cancer. It was a 2-year battle for her. And we lost her February 18th of 2015. And I've been bullied my whole life. And these all played a crucial role within why I attempted suicide, and my suicide attempt and self-harming tendencies are what got me sent away and what put me in psychiatric hospitalizations. So it's good to know like the general gist of what happened before. So I've been bullied my whole life. That made me really depressed. I isolated myself. My dad owns a volleyball club, and I dropped out of volleyball. That was the biggest mistake of my life, because if I was still playing volleyball today, I would probably still at least be, to some degree functioning in everyday activities. So if you're depressed, I highly advise that you don't drop out of your extracurricular activities, because those will really help keep you stabilized. Like the main reason why I attempted suicide was because I was bullied and because I lost my grandma. My grandma was really the only person that has ever understood and trusted me, so it was crucial for me to lose her, and it just really broke my heart. So if I hadn't lost my grandma, I probably wouldn't have gone through all these things. But it's made me a stronger person, and I'm actually glad that I've gotten to experience this, tragic encounters within my life, because I wouldn't be the person who I am today if it wasn't for everything that I went through. So, subsequent to my grandma's death, I attempted suicide the following day. I got placed in a psychiatric hospitalization. It was my second hospitalization, but my first hospitalization was partial. And I actually liked the partial hospitalization because everybody there was really supportive, and the staff was really great. So if you feel like you're like not quite on the brink of suicide, but like you have thoughts and like have suicidal ideation, I would definitely talk to your therapist or to whoever you can confide your trust within to recommend a partial hospitalization for you. And not all hospitals offer partial hospitalizations for psychiatric adolescents, but it's worthwhile to investigate into it. So after my grandma's death, so February 19th, 2015, I was placed into an inpatient hospitalization. That was terrible, and the people there were I felt really bad for them too, but for the most part they were really mean, and it was because they were all going through some hard things and they had their own battles to fight. So I totally understood, but people would just say really unnecessary and mean things. But like I said, they weren't within the right state of mind, and I wasn't myself. Like I wasn't in the right state of mind either. I wasn't calling people names and stuff like that. So I got out March 3rd of 2015 or March 4th. I think it's March 3rd, but it might be March 4th. So then I got placed in a special school, and it was really bad because all the kids there had different things, so it was kind of like the hospitalization in the sense that everybody was struggling with their own battles. And so the teachers were really great, but kids there, I can't say what they were going through, or I can't disclose any names for confidentiality reasons. But they were all, like I said, they were all struggling with different things. So the name calling like different kids would be very interruptive in class, making it very hard to learn. And I only continued to deteriorate there. Um, so then, like, I kept self harming myself, and I got sent to a residential treatment facility outside of my state. And I'm not gonna give my state name away, or the state that I was sent to, and especially the state that I was sent to because that's confidentiality reasons as well. Because there aren't very many treatment facility places in that state, so it would be really obvious to give it away. The night that I was sent away, so the people that came to take me to the residential, they came in my house at 3 or 4 a.m. and they took me out of the house. Like, they literally grabbed me, they handcuffed me, and they put me in their freaking car, and it was terrible. Um, then, like, I have a huge phobia of flying, so I was petrified. I was bawling my eyes out, and it's something that I really regret. I pissed my mom off. Um, but, like, I wasn't thinking clearly, so I wasn't very conscious of what I was doing. But, then I said I often hate you, mom, blah, blah, blah. I was just telling my little rant, and I already felt like I was doing it. I was doing something like 89. And then I was taken on the plane. I fell asleep. I took 2 Benadryl, and I got to this crazy facility. Okay, I live by the ocean. This place was up in the mountains, and it was like it wasn't cold when I got there because I got there in the summer, but it was just it was colder than what I'm used to. Um, but I don't know how to explain it. Like, where I live, it's more crowded, and where I went, it's more desolate. And how can I articulate this? But I don't know how to explain it. But it was just very uncomfortable for me. And anybody placed in that situation would be very petrified, you know? You experience could be good or bad. Mine didn't turn out to be the best, but I'm also going to say some positive things about it on behalf of the residential I went to. But I'm going to get to that. Um, so when I got there, the kids were all nice at first, you know. I'm new, they have to welcome the new girl. And then the staff seemed okay, very restrictive for what I'm used to. Not as restrictive as the hospitalization, but restrictive in the sense that the the staff told you what to do, and like you didn't have really any say on what you could do. Like, residential will take away all of your rights. It's not the best thing to go through. So, about 2 or 3 weeks into my treatment, the girls started getting really mean toward me, and I don't want to disclose any information, but while I went there to my facility, some really bad things happened to me. But they were all going through their own struggles, and I could retaliate and be mean sometimes too because I lived there, so it wasn't like the hospitalization in the sense like I tried to like play neutral. When people were mean to me, I got really mean back because I had to live with that for 6.5 months. So of course, like, I was taken out of my comfort zone, a totally new experience. I was a new person, and I'm not generally a mean person, but when I got to Wyoming, when I got to my bad, when I got to my facility, it was I became a new person. I couldn't control what I said, and when people were just bringing me down, I couldn't handle it, and I just regret like retaliating back because I should have been the stronger person. But I'm out of that situation now, and I can only reconsolidate and make amends through my future, repair, reparations, whatever you want to say. Um, but I got my eyebrows shaved off while I was there, so they're growing in darker than what they are, so that's pretty bad. And then some other stuff happened, but I'm not even going to get into that stuff. I got to play volleyball for the the local high school, and it was nice because I hadn't played volleyball for 11 months because I quit when my grandma died, and then so I got there in June, and then tryouts, like, we started playing in September, August, so maybe like 10, 11, 9 months, I don't know. My memory's so bad right now. But that's basically the best thing that I had there. And I had connections with this girl who went to the university in the local town, and she came to see me once a week, but eventually she had to stop due to some regulations. So that was kind of hard too. My mom and dad came to visit me one time each, and it was really nice to see my parents. So my dad came first, and I stayed with him in the hotel and got away, you know. Um, we got to do a lot. I really reconsolidated with him and reconnected with him, and that was a really nice thing that the facility provided for me. So I really, 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 really applaud the facility for doing that for me. And then my mom, like, kind of the same thing, but I still have some major issues between my mom and my mom's relationship with me right now. So it didn't quite restore her relationship with my mom, but it definitely helped, like, break the ice a little bit. Then so it was nice to re-engage with volleyball, and they straightened out my common sense in the sense of attempting suicide. So now I'm no longer suicidal. I still have a couple thoughts here and there, but I would never actually do it. So that's really good for me. I really took that into consideration while I was there. I had a lot of time to think, and kind of because I was always around, some people that weren't as nice, but like when I went to my room, we had curfew, so I had to go to my room at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock on the weekends. And I would just think, and I would write and do all this stuff, and just really synthesize, like, how my actions impacted others around me. And it was really nice to just get away from the environment I was in, even though the environment was very foreign and some people were not as nice. It was definitely a learning experience for me. So for my recommendation, if you are looking for a residential treatment facility center, would be for you to definitely have your parents or yourself tour the campus and make sure it's the right fit for you, because my parents didn't get to do that when they were looking for me, because I was so, I was in danger. I was a danger to myself, so they just had to place me somewhere. My school district, and it was the only one that my school district funded. So that can also be a huge problem if your parents cannot financially budget a facility for you. Your school district, you get what you get when your school district gets involved. Luck of the draw. So that's not the best thing. But what else do I need to cover? Oh yeah, my parents at 6.5 months, they took me out because the people had gotten a lot meaner than normal. And so I came home December 20th of 2015. So I stayed there for 6.5 months from June 8th, 2015 to December 20th, 2015. But like I said, it's not all negative. I mean, definitely, like, that place destroyed me, like, emotionally, but they also straightened out my common sense, and I got to reconsolidate with my family while simultaneously re-engaging with volleyball. I don't currently do volleyball now anymore, which is ironic because my dad owns a volleyball club. I forgot if I mentioned that in the beginning of the movie. Not the movie, the video. But he does. That's what he does for a living. So it's kind of weird that, his daughter is not playing volleyball. But I honestly don't really care. I'm more artistic. I like to creative write. I like to draw. I like to paint. And that's just my breath of life. And I'm going to follow through that. And that's what's really helping me through my affliction right now. So if you're, like, looking for some coping mechanisms, I would really recommend to do something outside of your comfort zone that challenges you in a new way and cultivates creative articulations. When you're like in a creative zone, like your brain is really oriented, like its focus is oriented on the creative process, so it like can alleviate temporarily at least some of the symptoms that depression and anxiety can bring. Um, so I would definitely advise you to try that, and just find hobbies that can, take your mind and get you engrossed within something else, because you don't want to always soak away within your mind if it's not going to take you anywhere productive. So, anything else I want to say? Oh yeah. When I got at the facility, I gained a lot of weight. So I'm like 5'7", 5'8". Um, when I first came, I was like 135. I gained 20 or 30 pounds there. It was absurd, and that's another reason why my parents took me out. I still have my double chin. I'm definitely working on that. Trying to do my jaw exercises. Um, but now I weigh like 150, which is still kind of chubby for me. But I got into the 160s, 170s, which I've never been before. Well, the thing is that facilities oftentimes can't afford to fund healthy food because they have so many kids to take care of. So that you get the crappy food that has all that preservative crap in it, stuff like that. And then, like, you just get the luck of the draw, basically. So that's another thing to take into account, parents and kids who are looking to be sent away to a residential facility. The food and the overall health, you don't really get like the most adequate service in that aspect necessarily. You can request to play a sport. Like I played volleyball, but the only problem was it was only 2.5, 3 months. So the rest of the time I just sat my tush um in the cottage I was in, and basically just gained weight. But I mean, they took us out to do stuff sometimes too. But like we only got to work out 4 or 5 times when I was there because they can't afford to always take us to the gym. They have a gym on the campus, but I mean, some of the stuff you do at the gym is not adequate enough to be considered efficient exercise. So, I mean, I'm not saying all facilities are like that, but definitely take into account your health, how, if it would be accustomed to fit your style, and also, like, just interview the kids that are at the facility, the staff that are at the facility, and I would also recommend, like, not trying to go too far away from your hometown because, I mean, foreign experiences can be great, but also simultaneously, like, if you're too far out of your comfort zone, like, that can create a lot of extra stress, and that created a lot of stress for me because I went from an area that was always sunny to an area that got below negative 20 degrees. So just take that into account. Well, this was a very unorthodox video, but I hope that I can at least offer some insightful advice if you're looking for a residential treatment facility and stuff. This is very unorthodox, but thank you for watching this video. I hope that it helps, and goodbye.